has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Hey guys, Mazo here again. Taking a look at Xyp9x from Australis. This is the last game of the best of three for E-League. It's the finals, Australis versus OpTic, and Xyp9x had himself one pretty shady looking clip for sure that made itself pretty popular. It's actually on the Go subreddit and the Vaxsuck subreddit. Kind of surprised it didn't get removed from the Go subreddit a little bit, but it was disguised as a wallbang post somewhat, so it's still there anyways. The rest of the game, it wasn't too bad from Xyp9x, to be honest, but we'll get into this and make our way through the rounds. All right, let's see what he's got. First thing you're going to notice on this review is that Xyp9x is constantly jump spotting at B pretty much, and he starts off pretty good with a headshot through the board. That's all legit, like stuff like that. That's just good. You know, he jumped, he saw him, lined it up where he was last, put his crosshair there, you know, fired a bullet, and it connected, so I got no problem with that. The rest of this pistol round, OpTic goes A, so he's going to rotate over and try for a retake here. And you're going to see him shoot at Optimus here. I think there's a little gap there between the exhaust pipe and the thing there. That's why he's trying to shoot it. But the guy's a little bit more to the right of that. Other than that, nothing happens. Okay, they force into the second round here to try and stop the machine from rolling with OpTic, and it does work out for them actually. They win this round, and you're gonna see more spamming from Xyp9x. Overpass, like where he's specifically playing, it's probably the easiest place to know the exact angles to spam, because you can jump over he's jumped over that wall probably fucking thousands of times, right? So he spotted that guy, lines him up, sprays a little bit. It's just a really good, really easy spot to spray because, you know, you just jump and look over the wall and you'll know your angles. And once you do that enough, you'll see it. See him hit Tarek there through the wall, and he's just spamming right into the door. In my opinion, his crosshair didn't look like it did anything funny. Like, I think that's just a legit spam, you know. Tarek's standing on a pretty narrow path. Like he was either right at the door or about to go in the door. So I mean, there's really only a few places you can spam. You can see too, they do 3 boosts this round. He boosted it twice in B for a kill, and then once over the wall in B, and then another time in A. They love their boosts, and they win it. This video may end up a bit longer than my other ones, but I wanted to include a lot of the clutch situations. Like, he's in a 2v2 retake here, and I just wanted to include a lot of these, you know, clipped like a relevant kind of length, just for you guys to all check out. I don't think there's anything funny going on here. He does a good job waiting for his teammate, like when that smoke was up. Just dies on the retake. Okay, next gun round. More jump spotting, and he does this a few times too, where he throws that nade right after the molly is about to fade, and it really works out for him one round. Didn't work out here, but it's a good game sense play. He's more jump spotting, and he sees the guy at door, so he starts spraying him. Checks it again, sprays it a little bit. You're gonna notice he likes spraying a lot, so I wanted to include that a lot because he does get a pretty good kill through the wall later on in the game. And these gun rounds are just good to include in my opinion, so. This is the same round, just a little bit later on. I just wanted to include his kills, and they both look fine to me, so. Alright, another gun round and more jump spotting. He does a really good spray here. He knows when to spray because his molly just ran out, so he knows that they're most likely going to be running through at that time. That's how he times it so well. And you can see it's not like he's locked in on him or anything. He's a bit off on both. So kind of the story of this demo, right? Jump spotting and spamming. It's already 7-2 OpTic, T-side overpass. Overpass is a pretty CT-sided map, somewhat. At least it used to be. These guys doing another boost. They love their fucking boosts for sure, which I think makes this map annoying, but hey, that's just my opinion. It's another gun round where they're taking B, and we see some spam kills. That's the default plant spot, so I think that spam's fine. He spams it again, but the guy's hiding behind the box, so he doesn't get it the second time. More spamming and shit. I think this is all legit, in my opinion. Like those spams, to my eyes, look fine, right? He's not fucking locking right on to the guy's specific position or anything. Looks good to me, I think. Alright, we definitely got a longer clip here. Starts off with this molly almost every round when he can afford to buy molly anyways. And molly's water. And he times his HE perfectly right when the molly's about to go away. He throws the HE. Then he starts spamming. And it really worked out that round. It's something he does a lot of rounds. And in my opinion, the aiming there on the spraying looked fine. He's lining up, you know, exactly where you'd want to be, obviously, because he fucking hit the guy. But I thought it looked good. I didn't think his crosshair moved awkwardly or anything like that. It just looked like a guy that's played that position a lot of times, and he hit the spray. So Xyp9x has a really good round here. That's why I'm kind of just letting the whole thing play out, let you guys check it out. There's a pretty interesting moment here. OpTic throws a fake on B. You're going to see the smokes come over right now. And this was really the first thing that made me say, wow, OpTic really look like they got their shit together. So they throw the 3 smokes and then they eventually go A. Then Xyp9x rotates, and before he can even get there, there's a molly on stairs. Like, is that not wicked timing or what? I thought that was really, really good. The smokes held him at B just long enough, and then the molly goes on stairs before he rotates over, and it wastes another 5 seconds for him. I thought that was really well played. But Xyp9x comes in, and he ends up clutching this round. I think it's a 4K for him. And this again looks all totally fine to me. I remember seeing the broadcast view. It looked like the last guy there couldn't see him. It may have been a bit of a one-way, but that looks fine to me. I didn't see anything too funny there. Okay, 8-4 for OpTic. We got a short one here. It's the same thing. The molly's down, and he just waits there with the HE. He didn't throw it this time because he got called to A. But you're gonna see when he comes into A. I don't know if it was bad comms or what, but he's got no idea what's going on. It's taken out. It's the next gun round for Astralis. Their money's pretty hurting here. They lost the last round, and I saw this pre-fire through there. I don't think it's anything. He may have even saw him. It's kind of hard to tell with GoTV. Then he gets this boost guy and keeps spraying because obviously, you know, if he boosted, there's a second guy. So I just wanted to slow this down. Yeah, there's a good chance that he saw him in game. So I don't think that's anything either. Alright, you guys know I like to include my pistol rounds, so it's they were able to make a half, you know, on the CT side. They were able to get some rounds there at the end, so it's a pretty close game still. Well, it doesn't get any closer really. So very high leverage pistol round, obviously, that they're really gonna wanna win. And everything I thought looked really good, you know, just normal crosshair movement around the map. And checks out the guy at bank, goes back to truck. Like, this is all fine in my opinion. Alright, this is an early gun round T side. And obviously they're down quite a few rounds now. And you can just see he's got a nade in his hand. Like, he had no idea that guy was there. Alright, this is the next gun round. 12-8 OpTic. And we get to see a B side execute. And him going through Monster. One of the few rounds where they don't get, like, destroyed going through Monster. This was the first round where there was anything really even remotely close to something happening, I thought. This is just crosshair placement. Like, that's a pretty common angle when he lines that guy up before the pillar. So I really don't think this is anything, but it was it's one of the few things to talk about anyways. So I figured I'd show you guys the clip. Let me know if you think that's the normal way to clear the site. I think you could definitely make an argument that it is. Also, with aim locks, the general consensus is that it's normally going to target the closest person, so I don't think this is anything either. Next round, 13-8 for OpTic now. They try for the B site execute again, and OpTic changed around their setup to have two guys down at the monster tunnel. They just get ultra fucked by this molly, and then smoke goes in right after it, and then they try the charge through it anyways. Doesn't really work out. All right, here it is, boys. The main event of this demo for sure. Xyp9x has himself around here for sure. That was really awkward to look at, I thought, and it made a really good Twitch clip. And I'm just gonna rip through it here real quick in full speed, and then I'll go through a few replays and slow things down and see kind of what's actually going on. So you see there, it looks like he flicks to like 3 guys, then he pops out, shoots one, and then he wall bangs one. Like, it's an insane sequence. And I probably watched it, fuck, I don't know how many times I watched it now. I watched it at least like 10-15 times in various slow motion rates. This is pretty much the whole engagement at a quarter speed. And I'm not sure if anything's going on here. The context makes sense. Yes, they're down 14-8, but I mean, the context also made sense 5 fucking rounds ago, you know, like they needed to start putting money on the board 5 rounds ago, not now that they're like 2 points away from losing completely. So I don't think that's as strong as an argument as it normally is, talking about the leverage of the round. Obviously they need this round, but they also needed many other rounds. That first lineup there is nothing in my opinion. It's just looking into bank, and he's not even close to... You know, normally when I see aim logs, I feel like they get stuck on the guy, you know? And I don't feel like he's getting stuck anywhere here. Sometimes I feel like they'll hit an aim key too and kind of get dragged towards them and then take it off before they reach the player. And it doesn't really feel like that either here, because this crosshair does cross over them. This wall bang, the first bullet actually, it does miss, and then Rush walks right into it. So I know this is like an insane amount of shit to explain, but it definitely warrants, you could definitely say, okay, Xyp9x, you had this round, we should definitely look at more demos you have. But I don't think this round alone is enough to say that he's necessarily cheating. He's definitely gained a lot of favor in the previous rounds. He didn't have anything suspect in the other rounds, in my opinion. This is definitely debatable. Like, you know, this round is very debatable. That this fire at the APC, he heard the guy fall there, so there was definitely a footstep there. He could have thought he was getting pushed on, so he popped out to pre-fire. I know, like I said, I know I'm doing a lot of explaining here, and I could be totally wrong. Like, he could be cheating his balls off here, but it's really hard to tell, and I don't see some of the giveaway signs that I've seen in previous spots where I thought there was aim locks. Like I said, he's moving his crosshair around a lot when he's blind. It doesn't seem to stick to anyone, especially the guy that's just through the smoke. Like, there's situations where I feel guys, like, when an aim lock locks onto someone through a smoke, it goes right to their head or wherever they set it to, usually the head with a rifle. And then if there's an offset, maybe the offsets apply through the wall. That's kind of a working theory, but anyways, like, through the smoke, if he would have been aim locking that guy, he would be locked onto his head, and he's clearly still moving around a lot with it. So I don't know. I think this is a very debatable sequence, and I don't think it's as concrete. Like, I don't know if Xyp9x is like incredibly lucky or incredibly unlucky to have this happen to him. Because it's honestly, it's one of the most insane sequences I've seen. I've got it really slowed down here and zoomed in. I've also put up a red dot so you can see when he's blind, he's not really locked into that guy behind the wall. He does brush up against his arm, but it's certainly not a hard lock, in my opinion. This crosshair placement did kind of bug me, but he's coming out from a flashbang. Like, I would have thought he would stay kind of looking at bank instead of putting his face on the wall to look at stairs. But he's coming out from being full white. So I don't want to be too critical of his crosshair placement. You know, he was full white, so. Anyways, definitely a lot to talk about here. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything on it. And yeah, that was a fucking insane round. Alright, another B site execute. Xyp9x throwing what seems to be the only smoke he knows, because he's throwing it all the time. And they actually make it through Monster this time, and get a few of the OpTic players blind, so that helps them get in there for sure. This just goes down to a 2v2 clutch, and I wanted to include the full round, just because we are very late in the game. I'm sure his asshole puckered when he was planting there, like, that was a pretty risky plant in my opinion. But, I guess positioning-wise it made sense because their team had full control of water. But, like, if one of those guys would have popped through the smoke, he would have been fucked. And again, it's a pretty normal-looking clutch. Nothing really sticks out here in my opinion. Last round. Into B again. Nap just whips around the corner and fucking lays him out, so that's it. That's the game. That'll wrap up this Xyp9x demo. Like I said in the one round, it was pretty uneventful, I thought, except for the one insane round where he just like, it didn't look good in full speed for sure, but I thought when it slowed down, especially when I added the little dot there for when he was blind, I thought it didn't look as bad. Because you could see, like, the guy on the stairs in bank, like, he didn't really line him up or anything. And his crosshair stays moving all the time. So if he would have been holding an aim key that long, like, he would have eventually, you know, locked right onto the guy, I would have thought. Especially the guy that was just through the smoke. Also, like, the general consensus is that the an aim key will typically lock onto the closest guy to you. Yet he's going to all sorts of different players. I don't know. Like I said, it's definitely debatable. It could be either way, and it certainly earns him more reviews, I think. But judging by the rest of the demo, that was definitely the only shady spot that I thought. So he definitely built up some favorable karma, you know, to say, okay, maybe that round was just luck or unluckiness, I think. The situation did make sense in that round. It was high leverage, but there were a lot of high leverage rounds. This was the last map of a best of 3 for E-League, so this is, I think, the biggest CS prize pot we've ever had. That definitely was not the only high leverage round that he had, you know, would be expected to perform in. So I don't think there's anything here, guys. Unfortunately, I think it was pretty clean. I'm definitely not 100% sure, but you know, maybe I'll say 70% sure. That sounds about right. And next guy, check out. I'm either gonna do NAF or Mixwell. I really wanted to finish up the Mixwell 3-part series, but I decided to put it on the back burner just to get this one out there quicker. So maybe I'll flip a coin, decide whether or not to do NAF or Mixwell, or you guys can comment. Let me know who you want to see, NAF or Mixwell, and I'll do that and put it out as soon as I can. All right, guys, see you later.